All right, I need everyone to close their eyes and go back to third grade with me. I'm so sorry about this. Also, you're me for this, so I'm doubly sorry. So, it's the first day of third grade. I'm the new kid, new school, and we're sitting in the back of Mrs. Cook's classroom on the rug, and we are taking turns saying what we're most looking forward to learning in third grade when a voice comes over the loudspeaker and tells everyone to stand up and face the front of the room and look at the American flag at the front of the room. I don't know what's going on, but everyone else seems to. And so when they all stand up, I stand up, and they turn around, and I turn around, and then they put their hands on their chest, then I put my hand on my chest, and they start chanting, and I just have this deep, deep moment of, oh my God, my family has made a terrible mistake. Due to reasons financial and familial, my family moved from Brooklyn, New York to a suburb of DC, Arlington, Virginia, when I was 8. And as my dad tells it, the four of us were then clinically depressed for 15 years. Wasn't a good move, wasn't a good time, but at the start of it, where I'm beginning third grade, I was trying to be gung-ho. We bought a house. We could buy a house if we weren't in New York, and it had a front yard and a backyard, and we had a car, and I was trying to make it as good as possible. And so part of that was, okay, I need to transplant my life in Brooklyn into Virginia ASAP. And so top of the list was, okay, I had 2 dear best friends in Brooklyn. I will just scrounge up 2 dear best friends here immediately. Look around third grade, oh, thank God, there's twins. I had only heard about twins in the Boxcar Children books. I hadn't met twins in real life before, so boom, all right, I have me some twins, Pia and Aaliyah, and Pia and Aaliyah, like, great, I have 2 friends immediately. And so I just insert myself into their lives. I inform them that we're friends now. They sit with all of the cute girls at lunch, and then there's the boys' table at lunch, and then there's the girls who are assumed weird and read books and stuff at another table at lunch. I just arrive at the cute girl table, and I'm like, here we go, we're best friends. And to Pia and Aaliyah's credit, they're like, it's not a no. And so we get through I spend third grade going, okay, cool, I'm friends with them. And then a couple months in, I walk in on the 2 of them talking about someone named Natalie and how she was flirting with someone during recess. And I'm like, what's flirting? And they're like, it's when a girl is talking and laughing and messing around with a boy. And I'm going oh my God, have I been flirting my whole life? And then they're like, and it's really embarrassing if you do that. And I was like, never flirting again. Who's flirting? Not me. But then a week later, one of them is talking about how she flirted successfully with someone. And I'm like, oh, if you're a cute girl, you can flirt. You're desirable. You're the right type of girl. And then if you're not, then you're not, and you're embarrassing. You shouldn't be trying to get male attention. And this drew my attention to the fact that prior to my move and in the first weeks of living in Virginia, I had been pals with boys, but over the course of hanging out with the cute girls more and more, it was more of a hey, and less of a hey, we're friends, and we talk about stuff. And so I get to the end of third grade, and I'm like, this isn't working, which is sociopathic, and I know it, and now you know it, but I was just like, cool, those friends didn't work, time to find some new ones. And so the other option in the immediate was the table of boys, which included 2 girls who dressed as boys. And I was like, cool, I'm gonna do that. Over the summer, between 3rd and 4th grade, I'm going to become a girl who dresses as a boy. I'm gonna become friends with them. It's gonna be fine. Awesome. The 2 girls, they had those cargo pants that zipped off and became shorts, and I was like, that's it. What have I been doing trying to wear t-shirts from Old Navy and bell-bottoms? I could be doing that. That's it. So I chop off my hair. My parents, bless them, are just like, okay, you have to wear the clothing that you choose. We're not buying you more clothing until the 2nd annual clothing shop for the warm weather. So I get matching pants and shirts because they're in the boys section, and I wear sandals with socks until it's too damp or too cold, and then I wear sensible sneakers. And I'm like, I'm a boy, I look like a boy, I am a boy. This is bomb. It went really badly. The first couple days, I show up at the boys' table as I had done with P and Aaliyah's table, and there's one girl who dresses like a boy in particular, Eileen, who's having none of this. Eileen is just like, no, this is my territory, what are you doing? So she and her closest buddy, George, begin this campaign of like, we steal Abby's applesauce cup, we steal Abby's fork, we torment her, we touch her hair, we do all this during lunch. And so for the first few months, I'm trying really hard to ingratiate myself to them, and they're like, no, Abby, you're weird. I try to be in groups with them in class, and they're like, oh, Abby's so annoying. And lunch becomes this constant hell. And so dial into psychopath setting, and I'm like, cool, that's not working either. I have to find other friends. And then I turned to the table of girls who were categorically strange and read books, and I was like, I guess I'm sitting with you guys now. I'm friends with you now. And they said, cool, we play imagination games and we listen to Evanescence. And I was like, great. So there's still this deeply hellish part of school, largely driven by Eileen, the girl who dresses like a boy, who just has a real issue with me also dressing like a boy. But then I also have these really wonderful friends, and we play imagination games, and we run around, and we're witches, and we're wizards, and we do stuff. And recess is fun again, lunch is fun again, and it's really wonderful. And the whole time we're looking to the end of elementary school, the end of 5th grade, knowing we'll be going to middle school in 6th grade. And as the grown-ups in our lives told us, we were going to meet new people, we're going to make new friends, all these other schools funnel into that school, great. Raise your hand if middle school was a good time for you. I'm not talking to any of you. Sure enough, yes, I met lots of new people in middle school. Eileen met lots of new people in middle school. So within the first few weeks, because I'm still passing as a boy, teachers are still mistaking me as a boy, which I'm having a great time with. I think it's the best gag I've ever pulled. And Eileen and her friends start following me around and singing Ring Around the Lesbian. They start cornering me in the hallways. I can't go down the stairs without them following me. It becomes torture quickly, and naturally, teachers witness. They do not do anything. My friends witness, they do not do anything. And then a boy from another school who's joined our school, Eric, hops on board too, but Eric is worse. Eric shoves me into walls. Eric grinds on me and yells party sandwich. Exactly. It's a bad time. My parents speak to the school, and they're like, hello, this child is sexually assaulting our child. Could you do something? And Miss Monday said, middle schoolers are wild, aren't they? And my poor parents were just like, what else do we do? And I was like, there's nothing we can do. This is the war. It's like, this is just what happens in middle school, and I know that now. And we stagger to the end of 6th grade. I have 7th grade to reboot, and then, like the summer before 7th grade to reboot, and then blessing of blessings, 7th grade, my schedule is pretty much the opposite of Eileen's. Suddenly, Eileen cannot get at me. Suddenly, Eileen cannot circle me in the hallway or during gym as much. It is miraculous. Eric can and Eric does, but we have lost 50% of the problem, and it's wonderful. I'm in gym class, and I have to deal with Eric, but no longer Eileen. And I have the added bonus of my friend Rena, who was one of the imagination gang, now in gym class with me. This is gonna be great. I can tolerate Eric being here because I have Rena. And then Rena tells me she's in love with Eric. Now I see it as a betrayal. At the time, I was like, but she has all the facts. She knows how terrible and weird this boy is. He's very, very long and lanky and doesn't know what to do with his limbs, and his hair is floofy, and he has prominent teeth. And he touches girls. Like, come on. Like, no, she was in love with him. They were in the same advanced math class. It was meant to be. And so we're out on the tennis courts one day, like a kilometer from the school, running in circles because PE gym, like middle school gym. We're running in circles. And she's flirting with Eric, and she's like, ah, and Eric is like, ah. And then suddenly Eric escalates, grabs her leg, pulls it to him, and grabs her ass. And that's when I found out that I can tolerate a lot, but I cannot tolerate it happening to other people. And I turned around and I kicked him so hard that he collapsed on the ground, like, truly like one of the wacky inflatable tube men, right? When the air gets cut off. It was an immediate, like, ugh. And it was the same gym teacher who had watched Eileen torment me the whole previous year. She goes over and she looks at Eric, and Eric's like, Abby broke my leg. Oh my God, Abby broke my leg. And the teacher's like, go to the nurse. It's a kilometer-long walk back to the school. She doesn't give him anybody. Is like, okay, bye. And I look at her and I'm waiting. I'm like, cool, I'm in trouble now, right? And she just walks away, and I'm like, oh, oh. And Rena, of course, is going, oh my God, you're so embarrassing. You embarrassed me. I'm in love with Eric. Like, what am I gonna do now? And I'm going, you'll understand. Like, I know what's best. Like, don't worry about it. And she's going like, you're so embarrassing. This is the beginning of a whole new chapter in my life that I have never left, where I realized that perhaps I should be a little more mouthy. And it moved into 8th grade, where I started fighting with teachers for the first time. I was just like, no, this is stupid. And teachers who had never expected this out of Abby were just like, what? And I was like, no, it's dumb, I don't like it. And everyone would go, ooh. And as the goody two-shoes I was like, this is great. But all through 8th grade, Eric is still nudging at me, right? Like, Eric is still, I'll pass him in the hall, hey, Abby. I have one more run-in with Eric at the end of middle school. I'm passing him in the hallway, and I can't even remember what he said to me, but he said something deeply obnoxious to me in front of a teacher, and so I swung on him to kick him. He anticipated, because I only had one move. But I anticipated his anticipation, and so I kicked higher. And so he just collapsed like the pile of bones that he was, and he's on the floor, and the thump is loud. And I just go, okay, maybe this was a bit much. And I look at the teacher, and the teacher goes, Eric, get to class. And then the teacher looks at me and goes, Abby, get to class. I was like, okay. Eric didn't speak to me again for 4 years. We were in marching band. We had multiple classes together all through high school. He became that terrible 6'2" finance bro that we all expected him to. It just didn't talk to me. And then one day he came up to me at the end of rehearsal. He was like, hey, Abby. And I'm going, what? What, Eric? And he's like, do you remember that time you kicked me in middle school? And I was like, absolutely. And he goes, I have a scar on my leg. I have a scar all the way up my leg because of you. I looked at him and I was like, yeah, you do, Ian. Eric. That's it.